What is going on, you guys? I hope you're having a blessed up Sunday and you're prepping yourself and you're getting ready for your week and you're also just taking your pace if you need to take a pace. Not every day is going to be a sprint. Some days are going to be walking. Today's more of like a walking day for me. Some days you might even feel like you're crawling. Some days you might feel like you're rolling. And then some days you're just going to feel like you're sprinting. So just remember that everything is seasonal and every day might have a different thing, just as long as you're moving and you're moving a little bit closer to your goals every single day. Today we are on day number 18 of 30 days of building self-worth and self-appreciation. And today is really about no creating situations of lack or scarcity and shape-shifting that into statements such as like, what do I have? Where can I share information and resources? Another thing too is like, instead of saying I don't have enough energy, instead of claiming that you don't have enough of the resources or the time, that you just figure out like, okay, well, how can I figure this out? Or what is the next clear step? A lot of our solutions start with our self-dialogue and the questions that we're seeking, the questions that we're answering, looking for. And a lot of people will tell you it's not the what's, it's the who's. And it's not the how's, it's the who's. So who can I reach out to? Who can I go for inspiration? Who can I go for information? And I was reading today, I share in my stories every once in a while, some really great scripture. I feel like, man, dude, this scripture is so on point with the messages every single day. And today they were saying like, we should, so in Proverbs, which Proverbs is all about leadership and it's all about wisdom. So if you're somebody that is striving for leadership, there's some just like freaking diamonds in the Bible. I got literally the child's Bible, so you can get that also. No, I got like the student version. That's why you guys like, which one do you have? For those of you asking, the link is inside the bio, in my bio, but it's the Life Application Study Bible. Bible reading is super new for me, but it's like super on point. And in Proverbs 27, it says, do your planning and prepare your fields before building your house. So what that means is it means we should carry out our work in its proper order. A farmer who built his house in the spring will miss the planting season and go a year without food. A businesswoman who invests in her money in a house while her business is struggling to grow may lose both. We can work hard and still lose everything if we disregard proper timing or if we don't have the resources to carry out our plans. I thought that was really powerful because it's like, you know, time appropriate. And if you are somebody with like impulse or you're in the space of like scarcity and you're thinking about things, like there are things that are time appropriate also. So let's get clear on like what that is anyway. A common area that people tend to feed their scarcity mindset is not believing or trusting that they are able to gain the skills or resources needed to meet their goals. And since we're talking all about self-appreciation, this goes back into yesterday where we talked about self-doubt. And if you believe in your ability to be successful, if you believe in your ability to figure it out, if you believe in your ability to whatever it may be, this year, a big one for me is call God into all things, to call God into the business. And it was interesting because I had a conversation with somebody the other day and we were talking and I was like, man, you know, the one thing that I've never done is I never handed the business over to God. I've never handled the business over to God. And this shiznit has been freaking hard. It's been hard. And she's like, oh yeah, that's hard. And I go, you know what? It's not. Because what's been really hard is like trying to do it on my own and figure it out. But now it's like when you're creating your own path and you're creating your own way and you just hand it over to God and you just show up. And still one of my favorite quotes is pray as if it depends on God and work as if it depends on you. And that's just a segment of being obedient. Somebody asked me the time, they're like, wow, you're so talented. I'm like, I'm just being obedient. And when you're in alignment with your purpose and your passion and your mission, you just keep showing up. And as I said from the very beginning of this conversation, some days you're going to be literally rolling. like, did you ever see that Instagram meme where the person is like trying to go to the gym and they're literally just rolling, but they're still sleeping? Like some days you're going to feel like you're just rolling out of bed and just kind of like crawling, but that's okay because you're moving. And then the other part of shape-shifting a scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset is it's not just money, it's your time, it's your energy, it's your resources. So where can you pull from time? Where can you pull from energy? Where can you pull from resources? It's not always the how is it going to happen? It's the who has it going on, who has the information. How can I get to that next clear step? What is that next clear step? And then my job is to just get to the next clear step and to do it with enthusiasm and to do it with knowing that I'm capable. And so these are just simple ways of how you can transition the scarcity mindset, which is the lack and I don't have type of mentality, to something that is more prosperous and abundant. And another thing too, I've been noticing, like, I don't know if it's like a Gen Z lingo or what, but they said, I'm not gatekeeping. And you're like, well, what is gatekeeping? And that also goes back into the space. What's up, Jennifer? So that goes back into the space of that scarcity mindset. When you are gatekeeping and you're withholding information, you have a lack-based mentality. You have a scarcity mindset. If my friends are asking me for my resources, I willingly give them my resources of the best of the best. I don't withhold information because, like, think about for yourself. If you needed something and you went to who has this information or who do I trust that has this information, you go to them for the information and they give you the information, that is an abundant mindset. That is an abundance form of energy. But if you go to somebody and they don't give you the information and they have it, that is a scarcity mindset. So what type of person are you in that category? And remember, every single day you can change. So maybe if you have the urge to gatekeep and you are like a gatekeeper and you're like, no, I'm not giving you my resources. Like, this isn't about you. It's about bringing people together so that everybody can be better and achieve more and reach their targets. Gratitude can also help you in an abundant mindset and get out of a scarcity mindset. So writing down things that you're grateful for each day, and at the end of the week, you just kind of collect that. One thing that I did this year, which I'm not consistent with, but one thing that I did this year was I started off, drinking my tea. I started off with every single day, call it a miracle moment. What is a miracle moment that happened in my day where I can put something inside of that like little jar, like inside of this gratitude jar. And then at the end of the year or days where I'm feeling really low, I'm just going to go through that jar and I'm going to start to like collect all the moments that miracles happen. Maybe I was like in a scarcity segment and something abundant and beautiful happened. You know, maybe somebody bought me lunch or somebody sent me over some money to go like, hey, here, treat yourself. Or, hey, I gave you a credit for Uber. Lunch is on me. Like, I don't know. I do that for my friends. You do that for your friends. Like, what is an abundant mindset for you? And switching from a scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset involves changing the way you view resources, opportunities, and your own abilities. People with a scarcity mindset believe that there are limited resources and may be driven by competition to acquire what they can get. In contrast, those with an abundant mindset believe that there are enough resources to go around and may be more collaborative and focus on creating value for others. And that is a part of an abundant mindset. One way to help make the switch is to practice gratitude, to focus on what you have rather than what you lack, and surround yourself with positive and supportive people. Also, the only way to shapeshift a belief system is by giving yourself a new experience. So maybe initially you have a scarcity energetic feeling within you and you have been somebody gatekeeping. Okay, we've all been there. I for sure have done a lot of shadow work. So maybe that's initially there, but the things that have helped me overcome that stuff is by creating new experiences to see what's on the other side of this. Okay, I already understand what being a scarce person is and behaving as a scarce person and thinking as a scarce person. But now that I have a few tangibles of like how I can shapeshift from a scarcity type of human being with that mindset into somebody who's an abundant, like sharing my resources, sharing my information, of course without compromising yourself and taking away from things that require you to, you know, do what you're doing. You don't want to transition that into people pleasing. By all means, you want to have boundaries, and you also don't want to be taken advantage of. So use discernment. Like, please use discernment. And so you can, this just reminds me of a story really quick, because I think this could get led into a different interpretation, is we were in a crew, and somebody who's a business owner was just talking about how she constantly gives away a lot of information. And so she was giving away of information, and the difference of a scarcity mindset and abundant mindset, she was just sharing all these resources, and people were kept taking and taking and taking and taking, and then they go and they take her business model and they'd repeat it. And it's not that she formed competition. It's just like, man, I'm taking away from my business to pour into somebody else's, that's them making profit, and here I am left just feeling used. And so that's a completely different like mindset, as if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, and you feel like you are just having no exchange of anything, because everything does require an exchange. It's not just like, here, let me give you everything and I receive nothing from it. That I had recommended to her. So why don't you build out a course and you charge a fee, because what you're doing is mentorship and coaching practically for free. So either you're going to start a not-for-profit on this, or you're going to turn this into a business model and a course, so that this way you feel like you're receiving some form of value, so you don't become resentful towards that giving mentality and feeling like you have that abundant space. So I just wanted to give you an example that please use discernment when you are somebody who is an overgiver and people are using that to cross boundaries and to take advantage, because that does happen a lot, until you then will turn it into some type of a paid program, and then you're still giving information and resources because you love giving information, and they're giving you an exchange of money. So there's different forms of a lack mentality and a scarcity mentality, and it's not just in money, it's also in energy, because when you're pouring in other people, that means you're taking away from your projects, it means you're taking away from your family, it means you're taking away from your extracurricular activities, and you're giving somewhere else, because you can't be in two energetic spaces at the same time. You can only be in one, so you have to choose what is going to be the most profitable in your time, energy, and your functionality and your frequency of how you're showing up, because you should always leave every situation feeling like just better, I guess, in an aspect, like for the long game, not the short game. So when we're talking about resources, we're talking about energy, we're talking about money, we're talking about time. It's not just money when it comes to an abundance mindset and an abundance way of being. One of the mindsets that I constantly have is like, what do I have? So when you're getting into this gratitude space, I'm like, okay, like I don't have and I'm not where I want to be, but what do I have? Where can I start? What can I do right now with what I have? My time, my energy, my resources, my knowledge, and what can I do? Oh, I can do a 30-day like coming on live, since it's also helping me practice becoming a transformational speaker. I get to practice storytelling. I get to, as you notice, even my verbiage is I get the opportunity. And what I get in exchange for me coming on live and pouring in this wisdom to you guys is I get the opportunity to practice. I get an opportunity to sharpen my skill for a longer vision that I have, that every day I get to be on stage. I get to have a platform to be on stage, so that I can then eventually become a master at those other things. So even thinking in the mindset of like every day is practice to sharpen up a skill will add value to you as well, so you don't end up becoming resentful for the commitments that you make towards the people you're making it for. So where does this come from? And then also learn where you could get it from and who you can get it from. Who has it? You know, in the show, they're like, who has my money? Who has the knowledge? Who has the time? Who has this? Who has that? And then who can I reach out to? And another thing is like, it has to exist. It has to exist. I just did a webinar on Friday night on how to attract conscious love and how to attract your most compatible soulmate. And it was interesting because there's a lot of people that were like, oh, there's no good women out there, there's no good men, or if they are, they're taken, or they have families and they have this and that. And then it's like, listen, your mindset is such a scarcity mindset, even in relationships. So all you have to understand is that pour into you, build into you is the best thing you can do. And just know that if you're doing the work and you're pouring into you and you exist, then all you need is one. And that other person does exist, but maybe they're working on themselves right now and it's not the right timing. So instead of being all up about blah, blah, blah and scarcity and giving yourself reasons to think of lack, think of where you can utilize your time, your energy, and your resources to pour into you. So when the timing is right, you've built yourself into this high caliber human being that is an asset to every single human business person that comes across you. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today, day 18. Make sure you're doing something to take care of yourself and take your pace as is. Get rest, but also get in alignment with the things that are important to you, the people, places, and things that are important to you. And for those of you joining, today we talked about how to shapeshift a scarcity mindset into an abundant mindset. 30 days of building self-appreciation and building self-worth. So if you love today's live stream, just make sure that you share it with your people. If you want in and you want the entire PDF as well as your commitment contract and 90 days of tracking progress through self-accountability, you can get that at TanyaColiver.com/calendar. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.